So I did a video. I've done a few videos based on the fear and greed index and where that's at and why that's given us an extreme warning sign in the markets. But I want to clarify a few things in this and why this is really, really, really important to you, especially if you're looking for a high probability time to get involved. So I've got really something really interesting to share with you today. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, let's get straight into it. Before I start, guys, Black Friday, I'm running a 50% off to my 12-month weekly coaching program. You get access to my Facebook group where I'm coaching every single day, live weekly sessions, my #1 trading system, and so much more. So go check it out right now, guys. It's only running for the next few days. So very first thing in the description, go check that out. 50% off to my 12-month private coaching program. Now, here's the thing. In the last week, I've actually done the extreme warning signs based on this fear and greed index. And so I was saying that in the last sort of couple of weeks, we started seeing this fear and greed index. Now, we've heard the analogy, right? The analogy is that when most people are fearful, you need to be greedy, and most people are greedy, you need to be fearful. And when you start to see indicators start to flash greed, extreme greed, we need to be a little bit fearful, right? And what I mean by that is, like, if you really want to look for a high probability level to get into the markets, well, we need to make sure that we're not getting in at the worst time, right? Because if you look at, say, how the markets work as an example, and I'm just going to draw on this screen here for a minute. If you look at how the markets work, if you look at this whole fear and greed scale here, okay, extreme fear over here and extreme greed, all right? And I'm going to get to, and this here is all about helping you identify high probability levels to get into it, or much better levels. See, what most people do is this. When the market goes up, they don't do much. When the market keeps going up, that's when a lot of people start to look to get involved here. But what's inevitably going to happen? Right, we do get what? We get a bit of a pullback. And how that pullback is, it might be 38%, might be 50%, maybe a 60% retracement of this entire move up. And then most people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I got in here and it went against me and now I'm freaking out. So in this case example, right, most people get in when the market's already very, very hot, when there's a lot of greed already happening. And then the market pulls back, right? And using this as an example, then the market pulls back. The greed, the greed goes away a little bit, and then we start to get to a point where there's maybe it's around the 50 level then of this particular stock or index or whatever you're looking at, and then it starts to get neutral again. And this is a much better time here. This is a much better time to buy here. Now, are you going to get the exact low? No, but if you're looking for a high probability level, it could actually go down to here and then bounce back up. Like, you never know, or if you're looking to get a high probability level, if the market has already gone up a lot and we start to see the extreme greed, when most people are greedy, be fearful, and when most people are fearful, be greedy. And if you start to see that this extreme greed indicator is starting to flash greed, it's just a warning sign to say, maybe I shouldn't get involved with this. Just like as I'm doing this recording, just like with Bitcoin. Last week I did a video with Bitcoin saying Bitcoin danger. Why? Because Bitcoin gone up and up and up and up and up. And I said, no FOMO, don't get involved with it. And now we've actually smashed down like 20% or something like that. In fact, let me actually just share that chart with you. This is actually the Bitcoin chart right now. You can see there's actually a bit of a gap here, but I'm just using my software here. And let me actually bring up a candlestick chart here for a minute. Let me actually bring up a weekly chart, and you can see what happened. Like from the high down to the low, Bitcoin's actually gone down 15%. And so I did a video last week, actually right near 19,000, saying Bitcoin danger. And so you can see what I'm saying there. So back to this thing here, right? Actually, that's a good example there of the fear and greed in the markets, right? So when the market's gone up a lot like that, there starts to become a lot more greed in the markets. Oh my goodness. And what people think is happening is going to continue to happen. But just the understanding of the fundamentals of how the markets work has made me so much money in these markets, because if the market goes up a lot, it's done a lot of price, it's done a lot of movement in one direction. there's inevitably going to become a what? A cooling off period. Just like Bitcoin's on right now, right? There's a bit of a gap here because it's my software, but bit of a cooling off period. And then the market actually, the cooling off period might go down to 15,000 here. The 15,000 is probably going to be a much better buy for Bitcoin than up here at 19,000. Even if they dig up, they can continue here. It's all about probability, right? There's a probability if buying at 15,000, if it gets down to there, is much better than buying it now. And then there's a high probability we're going to continue to see that upward move. So with this whole fear and greed index, it just gives you a probability of where the market sentiment is and where things are happening. And when you start to see this fear and greed index, especially with the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, it doesn't mean that we're going to be entering into a pullback right now today. Tomorrow it's going to happen tomorrow. That's not what this whole fear and greed index indicator is all about. What this is all about is to say, you know what? If I'm looking for a high probability area to get into, if I'm looking to put my money into the markets, I want to make sure that if I'm putting my money into the markets, that I'm having a high probability that it's going to eventually turn into a nice profit. If I get into the markets though, yes, the market can keep going up from now, and it's probably likely to for a little while. If I get into the markets right now and I'm seeing that the indicators are starting to flash extreme greed, well, I've just lessened my probability. I can go from a 70%, maybe 80% probability on a nice big pullback without the extreme greed. Okay. But at the extreme greed, I may have just now gone to maybe 60-40, maybe 60% probability we're going to continue up, 40% not, or maybe 50-50. So I've lowered my probability. And so that's what this is all about. It is all about just looking at these markets and making sure that you are entering at a high probability time, right? Because my mentor always said to me, the market is going to be here in 12 months time frame. The question is, are you going to be around? And what it means is most people get blown out of the markets because they're just too eager to get involved with all these things. So guys, investing and trading is not about jumping on the next hot thing. Investing and trading is about saying, okay, where can I put a portion of my money, not 100%, but where can I put a portion of my money into a position right now that has a high probability degree? And when I start to see this greed indicator right now, especially right now, it's at 92. We're almost at 100, guys. Like something is going to snap in these markets. That's going to start to send this back down. And so that's where, like right now, guys, it's like if you're looking to like right now to buy long, it's like, oh yeah, we may be going through a move, but something's going to happen to send this market back, send this back down to maybe even down to neutral, or maybe even just back down to greed here, like just a little pullback. I'm not talking about a big crash, just a little pullback. Guys, and this whole extreme fear indicator, in the whole situation when, the whole virus situation happened at the start of this year, guess where this indicator was? It was now pegged right down to extreme fear. Guess what I was doing at that time? The market was crashing. This was extreme fear. I started buying call options, right? So I started buying call options on the SPY. I bought some call options on Apple, JP Morgan and stuff like that, right? So I started buying call options on there. Most of those trades made me a lot of money. But guess what happened? When I bought call options and the market was coming down, it wasn't the exact low. So even though we were like right here on the fear indicator, when most people are fearful, be greedy. So I started being greedy, buying call options when the market happened like that. But guess what? It was about maybe 1 to maybe 2 weeks that we started seeing that. Within 1 to 2 weeks after this, we saw a complete reversal. So I'm not saying the market's going to crash right now with this, but this extreme warning, and this is now an extreme warning update to the update that I did recently. That's what this is all about. And you can see this more about, look at this here, the put and call options. During the last 5 trading days, volume and put options have lagged volume and call options by 70%. That means 70% of people are now buying call options. Oh my goodness! And look where we are right now on the 5-day average put to call ratio. Oh my goodness! Look at this here. We are now oh my goodness! Look at this here. It's the lowest it's been now for the last 12 months, basically. Back to here. that is saying something, right? There's like, oh my goodness, that is telling us that there's so many people are extreme greed, or as investors make bullish bets in their portfolios. This is among the lowest levels of put buying levels since the last 2 years. Oh, sorry, I said 1 year here, right? The put options are just dropped through the floor. It's like indicating extreme greed on the investor side. Update here was, okay, so this is just is recently updated as well too, as I'm doing this video. We've got safe havens, extreme greed. Stock pricing, extreme greed. We've got the stock market breadth, extreme greed. We've got the market momentum, extreme greed. Like, we've got a lot of junk bonds, just greed right now, and volatility index. That won't be extreme. That's actually saying extreme fear indicator, which the volatility index is more like, if the market goes down, that thing is going to spike. And you can see down the bottom here, right? Look where we are right now. And so this is just a warning sign, guys. So I hope you can see what I'm saying here. This is just a warning that if we ever get up here, it's not there's no way I'm going to put my money to something. I can't have confidence that we're going to see a nice move. At least wait for this thing to come back to normal, right? At least wait for this thing to come back down to here somewhere. Then it'll give me a bit more of a probability. Now, if we start to head down towards these low levels through here, it definitely, as I said before, this is when most people are fearful, right? Extreme fear. Remember I said before at the start of the year, what was I doing? I was loading up. Why? Because I knew I was loading up with a lot of time of these options, 12 months worth of time on these options, because I knew within the next couple of months we would have found a bottom and made it and started making a very nice move. I didn't know when. So I hope this helps you out today, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Please, this is all about probability. Just protect yourself, okay? I want you guys to be in the markets for a long time. And being in the markets for a long time is all about just being smart with the way that you position yourself and the way that you're looking at the markets. And being okay not getting involved with the markets. So you know what? I'm not going to get involved right now because I'm not too confident about what's happening right now. I'm going to sit back. And even if the market does run on, I'm not going to miss out on anything. Because there's always an opportunity. There's another amazing opportunity just around the corner. So just relax, and I hope you guys enjoyed this out. Make sure you leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what you think about this. We are seeing a point right now in the last few times, the last sort of 2 years when the market did get here, we did start to see a very sharp pullback. Let me know what you think about that. So anyway, guys, if you really enjoyed this, make sure you check out the 50% Black Friday 12-month coaching program. Every single week, I'm doing live sessions. Every day, I'm on the Facebook group sharing stuff with you. You get access to my #1 trading strategy, scanner, and so much more. So check that out. 50% off sale ends in the next few days. So go check it out, guys, and I'll speak to you guys real soon.